Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Jess Warrington. Jess Warrington is the General Manager for North America for CloudBlue and leads CloudBlue's sales and pre-sales team in North America, as well as having responsibility for CloudBlue's overall go-to-market strategy in the region. CloudBlue partners with the world's leading service providers like T-Mobile, CDW, Lenovo, Telefonica, and Telstra, to name a few, to empower them to scale in the digital economy by providing a technology solution to automate end-to-end digital supply chain and enabling cross-connecting ecosystems. Well, good afternoon, Jess. Welcome to the show.
Super excited to be here, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Jess. I appreciate it. And I know we traverse time zones. You're on the Pacific Coast and here in the Midwest. So I appreciate your flexibility. And Jess, moving forward, we're going to jump right into these questions here. Let's talk about your career in technology, sales, management, and now you're the general manager for North America for CloudBlue. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Yeah, I think it's two sides of the same coin, Brian. For me, the most important thing is you have to be extremely passionate about what you're doing. And earlier in my career, I used to think of passion as something that you either had or you don't, right? And then you have to go find it. I think as I've gone further in my career, it's something that you actually can actively cultivate, right? You can go seek out, those areas of your career or business or the market that drive you to have that passion, and it can absolutely be developed. For example, I studied biology and physics when I was in university, and now I'm in software, and that's what motivates me today. So totally different from what I thought, was my passion early on. And I think the key to this is it helps you run faster, right? The more passionate you are about what you're doing, the more you can do, and the more you can do fast. At CloudBlue, we talk about velocitization. This is the concept where you get used to moving at extremely high speeds, like when you're in an airplane going, 500, 600 miles an hour, and you look out the window and it looks like everything is moving really slow down below, but you're actually moving, incredibly fast, right? And this is what inspires me, right? How technology is moving extremely fast and almost to the point we don't notice it. So if you look at, industry leaders that are super passionate about what they do, whatever it is, Netflix or Peloton or Tesla, and, where cars were, or where, in-home exercise was, 4 or 5 years ago, it's totally changed. And it's that passion that drives the innovation, and it drives the ability for technology to sort of change how businesses and how people, interact with the world. And that's what inspires me.
Thank you. I appreciate the share. You're absolutely right. When you're passionate about something, there's that saying, of course, if you really love what you do, you don't really work a day in your life. And I totally agree with that. So I appreciate the share. And just talk to us about your overall go-to-market strategy for CloudBlue and how digital marketplaces are transforming the business landscape today.
Yeah, so we look at the proliferation of marketplaces, all over the world. Like digital marketplaces are, the concept is expanding, like I was saying earlier, at unimaginable pace. Like the number of marketplaces are extreme right now, and it's accelerating. And the reason for this is businesses are now wanting to consume solutions. They're wanting to consume outcomes the same way consumers do, the same way end customers do. Just as you or I would go on and do a quick search on Amazon, 2 clicks, and it shows up at our door in 5 minutes, right? This is how businesses want to interact with their partners and their channel and their customers, right? So the way that CloudBlue looks at the market is we want to reduce the friction for both the IP owner, those that have something to sell, and those that are operating marketplaces, and connect these two so that the seamless interaction digitally, can happen at scale. The market challenge is that if you don't have a framework, if you don't have a platform to access these digital marketplaces, the operational overhead to manage, keep up with the speed, keep up with the speed of transformation, that we were speaking about earlier, it just becomes too overwhelming from a cost perspective. So we're simplifying this journey for our partners so that they can access the market opportunity that's in this overall digital marketplace, economic expansion.
Thank you, Jess. And I appreciate that, because a lot of providers now is really that's their edge on their competition is helping their customers be able to access those marketplaces in a moment's notice and be able to scale with them. So thank you. Jess, talk to us about some of your cloud technology innovations so our audience can learn a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we are in the market right now. The tagline that we're bringing is XaaS simplified. And what do we mean by XaaS? Or we're saying anything as a service, right? And the key here is, going back to businesses wanting to consume the way that consumers do, that they want to be able to access anything, whether it's a device, a managed services, combination of hardware and software, this business outcome as a service, right? And this is a difficult transition for companies that have been in market for a long time, because historically there's a very linear relationship with partners and customers. You sell a box to someone, you walk away and you go sell a box to someone else if you're this IP owner. Now you've got to manage a life cycle of a customer relationship and making sure that this customer experience over the course of the life cycle of the subscription, is meeting or exceeding, that expectation in order to capitalize on the market opportunity and stay in front of what technology is. So we're giving our customers the ability to transform into this anything as a service model in a way where they can, sell a single product, they can sell a subscription, they can bundle them together, in a digital manner that creates a lower touch, market strategy. It takes a lower touch sell with fewer direct salespeople and more reach to end customers, going back to this digital marketplace proliferation. That the inherent complexity in all of this is massive, right? There's sales challenges in how you are incentivizing team. There's financial challenges changing from a revenue recognition model that now is recurring versus a one-time, spiky revenue recognition approach. So across the organization, we strip down the complexity so that our partners can get to market and take advantage of this market opportunity.
Thank you, Jess. And I appreciate that the XaaS or the anything as a service has really changed some things, as you know, over the years. There's different subscription services, obviously you can access, but I like this concept of anything as a service. So appreciate the share. And just last question, could you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in technology or sales?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing for me is early in my career, or let's say right out of college, when you look at a job posting, online, everything was about being results oriented. And look, I think the scoreboard with how we all measure our businesses is on financial results. So we are all inherently results oriented, or need to be in order to grow in business. But as I've gone farther, I think being, maniacally focused on process and those elements that you can control, because I don't have control. None of us have control out of an individual result, day in and day out, but we can control the process that leads right up to that result to give us the best chance of achieving what we're actually trying to. From the book Atomic Habits that I'm reading, it talks about you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, or you fall to the level of your habits, right? So in order to achieve sort of the growth or, level of success that you want, you've got to elevate that baseline. And what that means is, day in and day out, after every day, I have one more day of experience. How far did I push, leveraging that passion to give me the ability to run faster, each day, whether it's, cultivating, a network, whether it's developing, market knowledge by doing research to make my baseline the next day better. And, creating this flywheel effect where that, those habits focus on that process, and that's going to lead to the result. If I just set a result target or a goal and you sort of, put that as a North Star, but don't have, just extreme focus on, the process that's going to help give me the best chance to achieve or overachieve that result, then I've seen many, many times where we don't get there. So I think that, the key to it is, focusing on that process and understanding the elements of the process that you can control and those that you can't, right? And that's, easier said than done. But it's absolutely critical, and it allows for you to sort of disassociate a bit from some of the external pressure, because you can leave what you can't control off to the side and focus on the task at hand, and then the long-term result will deliver itself.
Thank you, Jess. I appreciate that. Appreciate the gems you've shared with us and our audience today. So most appreciated. And Jess, it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Likewise, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Bye for now.